Let me break this down for everybody still sleeping on serrations. Native Americans used obsidian, volcanic glass. Under a microscope, obsidian can be sharper than surgical steel. We're talking about one of the sharpest cutting materials humans have ever touched. And even with that level of sharpness, they still flaked their edges. They pressure flaked blades and points, creating micro serrations along the edge, tiny teeth, not mere polished, not hair whittling tooth. That wasn't by accident. Now picture yourself in their shoes. Real world survival. You just took down a game animal, maybe deer, maybe smaller game. You're skinning it, breaking joints, cutting through hide, sinew, tendons, separating muscle groups, processing meat, scraping hide, cutting cordage, shaping wood, doing it again tomorrow and the next day, day in and day out. You don't get to go home and pull out a guided sharpening system. You don't have unlimited steel to grind away. With obsidian, resharpening meant flaking more material off. Every time you reworked that edge, you were making that blade smaller, thinner, closer to failure. You didn't have time to constantly reshape tools. You needed geometry that kept cutting even as it wore. That's what teeth do. A polished edge can lose that razor apex and start sliding on hide. A toothy edge keeps grabbing. Even when it's not shaving sharp, it still bites into fibrous material. And obsidian is brittle. Those micro teeth actually help distribute stress. If a section chips, the blade still cuts. It doesn't just become useless. That's the same mechanical principle behind modern serrations. Now let's bring this into today. What does it say about parts of the bushcraft community that completely reject serrations? If survival is the priority, real survival, why close the door on a cutting geometry that history proved under pressure? If you're processing game animals regularly, if you're cutting wet rope, if you're working in dirty, gritty environments, if you don't have the luxury of constant maintenance, why wouldn't you at least consider teeth? Plain edges absolutely have their place. They carve cleaner, they feather stick better, they're easier to lay flat on a stone. But survival isn't about aesthetics. It's about efficiency, durability, performance over time. Picture yourself processing animals all day. No backup blades, no sharpening station. Every cut matters. Every tool has to keep working. The sharpest natural materials humans have ever used still relied on a toothy edge. The whole world today is obsessed with mere polish. History was obsessed with function. Maybe the world isn't as advanced as it thinks. Maybe we're just sleeping on serrations. Blade basics over and out.